Thanks to the support as a channel member, Jason Odendahl. No, it feels like you're deliberately misunderstanding me at this point. Let me explain one more time. I'm not upset you gave me £1 million to spend on players. I'm not upset that you built us a new ground. I am a little bit upset that our youth facilities have been downgraded because I'd have rather had that than the £1 million for players. But the thing that I'm really upset about, and I need to be super clear about this so it never happens again, I'm really upset that you let me go out and spend £800,000 on players only to then sell Nathan Curry out from under me for £250,000 on deadline day. If you needed the £250,000 that badly, I would have signed a couple of less 17-year-olds. We needed it. He was our vice captain. He was one of our best players. You didn't even get a sell on. Hello and welcome to part 33 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in League Two. We're at home against Morecambe and Lincoln. That is a League Two. As you can see, we are currently top of, but maybe not for much longer because the heart and soul has been ripped out of our team. Look how well we started. Look how it's changed since losing Nathan Curry, because that is right. Mrs Wearmouth lost her mind on deadline day. We were just tootling along nicely. We even brought in another player, Matt Godden. Hasn't got a face yet. We'll sort that out. But Matt Godden came in from Port Vale for £50,000 a week before. And we thought everything was right in the world. Then deadline day comes round and three teams come in and offered £275,000 for Nathan Curry, and she just accepted it. There wasn't I had no option to renegotiate. I had no option to argue. The only box I had that I could have ticked was resign. So my choice was let it go through or resign. I'm furious, partly with Mrs Wearmouth, partly with Nathan Curry himself, because I offered to bring him back on loan. Brentford accepted, and he said no, he didn't want to come back. So, I mean, to be fair, he's playing in the Championship, but that's two of that golden generation we've now lost, potentially to never get back. Nathan Curry and Kieran Hodgkinson have gone off to bigger and better things. We've just got Troy Cannon's part of that same generation. I hope he doesn't get his head turned as well. And luckily, our boys from the generation before, Harrison Davies, Tom Bachelorette-Pitetta, they're still here, back here. They love us. That's that second generation. They're rubbish. I don't like it. I'm tempted to drop Troy Cannon just as a protest at what his buddies have done. And I mean, to be fair, he's not exactly tearing the division apart. Although, I mean, he's got 8 goal contributions in 8 games, so on a 7.36, and maybe being a little bit harsh. He's not scoring goals as much as he did last year, but he's turned creator, and Micah Beereth has, after an iffy season last year, has turned back into the Micah Beereth that we knew and loved from lower down the league pyramid again. He's obviously done a bit of a Troy Cannon himself. Yeah, that's right. That's what we're calling it now. It's not doing a Mick Powell anymore. It's doing a Troy Cannon, because Troy Cannon is the man. Right, let's try and keep ourselves at the top of this league table. And this is the team that we're going to be playing against Morecambe. We've got Wright in goal. A back four of Bachelorette-Pitetta, Muir, Charles and Brewerton. That's right. Harrison Davies is on his first rest of the season. He's having a week off training. I'm hoping at some point he'll be old enough to not need to rest constantly. I'm also, having seen what's happened with Nathan Curry, very alarmed by that, because Crystal Palace, it seems like we're still very much at risk of these tiny little transfers coming in and taking away our best players, which does put into context like spending as much on Geraldo Popon as we got for Nathan Curry. We're having to overpay for the players that we want to bring in. It's exactly the same fee. We're having to overpay for the players that we've signed. And I bet not only is it the same fee, I bet we've got a sell on. No, actually we don't. We have other things as well. But still, we're having to overpay for players and sell our players for nothing because the chairperson is a lunatic. I'm not happy. Really not happy with how that's turned out. In midfield, it's Hamilton, Cisse, Bandera and Whittaker, and then Beereth and Cannon up front. Slam Dunk has started to get back into the team again, but Hamilton on the left-hand side has probably been our best player so far this season. He's been a revelation. 6 goals in 8 games, a 7.45. So I think the return of Slam Dunk has inspired him into saying, no, I don't want to go back to playing in central midfield again. I had enough of that when that guy was here before. He's 31 years old. I want to establish myself now as our left winger for the next 10 years. So fair play to Micah Hamilton. I hope he does exactly that. I hope some of these players are still playing for us in 10 years. Bachelor Ekpiteta's taken over Slam Dunk corner duties and tries to whip one in there and then runs through Treacle to pick the ball up again, but does actually somehow still get there before the Morecambe player. But the move breaks down and it's back in our midfield. Hamilton, I mean, I don't know why this is a highlight. It's a strange one. Hamilton playing it in for Beerith to chase down this left-hand channel. And now Cisse heads across to Bandera. It's like we're just demonstrating how much we're missing Nathan Curry. Beerith back to Hamilton. Hamilton across to Bandera, who's saying, Nathan, who? When I can hit a ball like that, that's the second time I've seen him do that in recent days. It's his first goal of the season, so obviously it wasn't this season. It must have been tail end of last year. We saw him do that at some point. But Bandera has a shot on him when he wants to do it. And clearly he wanted to do it there. And that's why we got that weird highlight to start the match, because it was all teeing up to a wonderful, wonderful goal. Brewerton now playing it forward for Cannon to chase onto out wide. Cannon gets there, of course, because he's so quick. Whittaker with the cross. Cannon has a go himself. And Hamilton with the looping header across goal. And the goalkeeper's made a little bit of a meal of that. It never should have been in doubt, but it kind of was for a second. And Bachelor Ekpiteta's missed the header there. He's a big lad. He shouldn't be missing headers. Cisse's had to go back in to cover him and has given away a penalty there. Cisse, who spent the last, 4 seasons he's been at the club playing as right back, suddenly moving into his original natural position in central midfield to cover Curry, and he's struggling a little bit. Captain Cartwheel's just made a fantastic save from the penalty there, and I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't celebrated with a cartwheel. I feel like that needs to be something that he adds into his just in-match celebration repertoire. It shouldn't just be saved for when we have a trophy. I want to see cartwheels for penalty saves. I want to see cartwheels for clean sheets. We need to have a word with Sports Interactive and get that coded in. If you have an especially cartwheely goalkeeper, I want to see more cartwheels. He could have saved the penalty with a cartwheel and it would have been glorious. We'll be all right there. He saved the penalty. That's the important thing. They do have a corner here, though, and without Davies in there, oh, my word, how is that a goal? We need to see the replay of this, because this looked like Wright's made the save. Oh, it's Brewerton. Looks like he's heading that off the line. Is there an alternative view we can get of that? We need like we're going to have to do 2D, aren't we? Hideous old 2D. But if we take 2D, can we zoom in? No. Where's the one? Is it data analyst? No. We're going to have to do this in 2D. Oh, I thought the days of being this archaic were long gone. But let's slow it down as well. How do we slow it down? Slow it right down. Probably not that far. And... right, corner, comes over. Right, stop. Now we're going to slow it down. Does this ball fully cross the line? Or is Brewerton clearing that? I wish I could zoom in. Do we not get Hawkeye? Brewerton needs to have a word with himself there, because if he's letting that get past him, what's the point in him being there? He stood on the line for a reason. Ridiculous. He wouldn't have been there. It would have been Cisse if Curry hadn't gone. That's all Mrs Wearmouth's fault that goal's gone in, and I'll be telling her so in our post-match meeting that we always have. We always have a post-match meeting. She's always keen to know what the football boys are doing. Bandera with the free kick, in swinger. Hamilton's there, and Troy Cannon has absolutely robbed the goal off of him. There's a striker for you, boys and girls. Hamilton was on to make it 7 from 8, and Cannon's just like, well, the ball's there, I'm here, don't think I'm offside, I'll have me a bit of that. Actually, to be fair, I think the original header's going wide, so Cannon, not that much of a monster. See, we get the weird, was it a proper goal replay for this one, where he's clearly onside, But the one that was never over the line, we don't get the slow-mo close-up replay that I think we'd have all benefited from. I'll be complaining about it after the match. This might be my first touchline ban of FM21 if I get asked about that after the game, because I'm going to have things to say because that was never a goal. But I'm just cross, although it looks like it hasn't affected us too badly so far, although we've got some players who are tired. I thought this tiredness issue that we've been having would go away now that we're training full time, but it really doesn't seem like it has. We'll leave it as is for the start of the second half, but I think we're going to need some early substitutions in this second half. Hamilton, Whittaker, Bandera, Charles, they're all pretty tired. Right, Brewerton with the throw, finds Whittaker. Brewerton now with the cross, looking for Beerith. Can't find him. It falls to Bandera on the edge of the area again. Whittaker just gives the ball away on the corner in the penalty area, and Shea Charles keeps it in. And as long as he keeps control of the ball there, that's good football. He was very casual about that. Always in control, of course. Cannon chasing one-on-one with the keeper, and Troy Cannon's got his second goal of the game. And that is what Cannon is so very good at. He just uses his pace to get there ahead of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's committed. He has no choice but to try and come for it. And Cannon, we know Cannon's always getting there every single time. It's a lovely pass from Shea Charles. And yeah, Cannon, very calm finish as well. We're playing like a team that's just oozing with confidence at the moment. And it's lovely. Right, Hamilton is going to come off. We're going to bring on Slam Dunk on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I think we're gonna take off Whittaker. In fact, we probably need to make a triple change here. There's some tired boys on this pitch. Popon can come on, and Cisse can move over to be the box-to-box midfielder. And then we'll take off Whittaker, and Jessup can go in there and continue learning to play as a right midfield player. Everyone else who's tired, we've got half an hour now. If we get an injury, tough. You're gonna have to stick it out. You should have been one of the first few to get tired legs, and then you could have had your substitution. Brewerton, that's a poor throw, but luckily Cisse and Popon have both stayed back to cover for the absolute nonsense of it. But Beerith's in here. It's terrible defending from Morecambe. They've let the ball bounce over the top of the defender, and Beerith found himself in a pocket of space and probably should have done a little bit better with it. It's going to be Cannon with the corner. Beerith's there again, but it does go over. We miss Danny Pritchard from situations like that. As much as I'm enjoying Beerith's goal-scoring prowess this season, there's going to come a time where we have to get Pritchard back in the side, particularly on these occasions when Davies isn't. It's like Brewerton's actually cleared one off the line this time. He's learnt. Oh, if he'd have done it again, can you imagine? He'd never play for us again. But yeah, I think we need to have one of Pritchard or Davies on the pitch at any one time, because they're the only two big lads we've got who are proper aerial threats. It's otherwise quite a small team, and Troy Cannon has his hat-trick. Jessup has been very, very selfless there, because he could quite easily have just taken that on and had a shot himself with 3-1 up, but he's decided to pass it across to his teammate to pick up his hat-trick. It's another very easy finish for Cannon. He's effectively had 3 tap-ins. It doesn't quite tell the whole story, because he's had another very, very good game. But he's a finisher, I guess. That's the thing. His goals look easy because he doesn't mess them up. He's a good finisher. And that's something that we've not necessarily had at any point in the day, probably since Henry Barton, who, of course, was never going to make the step up to this kind of level. Right, we get a week off now, which we needed. We've had too many games too close together. We've played 4 games in the last 2 weeks. That's why we're so tired. We probably didn't need that friendly. I cancelled the other one, but I guess I was playing through the in-betweeny bits late last night and probably didn't notice it or forgot or was doing something else and have just left it in, and then we've played it. That's why we're so tired. Silly old Kev. Let's go and play Lincoln. So just the one change for the Lincoln game then. Harrison Davies is back from his little break and everybody else is fit after having a lovely little rest. What's WTG? Waiting on promise. What promise? What have I promised him? How do I see promises? I don't know how I can see what I've promised him. Happiness. I don't know. Promises are on here somewhere, aren't they? I just don't know where they are. Disappointed with how the promise... What promise? Is it on here? Micah Beereth and Slam Dunk. Micah Beereth feels there's a lack of depth in central midfield. Well, I'm sorry, Nathan Curry was sold out from under me. I did what I could. It was deadline day. It was like 8 p.m. on deadline. Is that what Brewerton's upset about as well? Hopefully that doesn't end up derailing the season. It's all going so very well at the moment. I'm hopeful we can try and get Hodgkinson and Curry back at some point. We're probably going to have to spend big money on them when the time comes, but we know we've got 2 players who are at least championship quality there. And even if Davies does go in January, again, he's another one who will definitely be looking to bring back. You've not heard the last of any of these young players who move off and go to bigger clubs because we're so limited in players we can bring in. If we're in the mid-table in the championship in 5 years' time, and we've got a 25-year-old Nathan Curry out there who is maybe struggling to get into the team where he is or whatever it might be, you can be sure at that point he makes his home return. Beereth's in, and he can't quite force it past the Lincoln goalkeeper. It was a pretty good chance as well. He probably should have opened the scoring for us there. Attendance-wise, by the way, we speculated on this in the last episode. We have now broken the League Two record for lowest attendance. We're getting somewhere between 600 and 800 people per match. So that 4,500 people we got for our first game in the Football League, I think, was probably the perfect storm of new ground and first day in the Football League. And we just filled the place, and we've not come close to doing that since. Even though we did well in that game. You can see Lincoln have filled out their allocations. It's not a huge journey for them, but there's so many gaps in the home stands. We're struggling to capture the interest of the locals. The problem we've got is Posh are up in the championship in this save and doing quite well. As our city rivals, it's not like they're in the doldrums and fans are looking for an alternative. They're having a great time, and we're doing well. We're obviously top of League Two, but I imagine most of the city's just like, yeah, but we've got a championship club. Who cares that this little weird team from out in one of the weird villages on the wrong side of the tracks on the way out of Peterborough? You weirdos. We don't care about you. We'll change their minds. It'll be interesting to see if we're seen as big rivals or just that little club, bless them. We're going to surpass you eventually, Peterborough. You wait and see. Apparently the theme of the channel this week is me trying to topple the team that I support. It's an interesting theme for me to go with. Right, shall we? I'm tempted. Look at the calendar. Shall I do some cross promotion? Watch the other series, 4 o'clock today. There you go, some cross promotion. You see Peterborough in a big final. Very exciting. So I'm not managing them. Oh dear. People are going to be so cross if they're watching these out of sequence, and that's a spoiler. I'm sorry, but don't watch them out of sequence. Then you won't get spoilers. Is that in sequence? Yeah. Just. Oh, God. It's not a spoiler if it's something that's already happened. Right, there you go. We made a couple of changes in midfield. I'm thinking maybe it's time for Danny Pritchard to come on and see if he can get us the breakthrough from a set piece, because we are not really creating very much today. We're going to try and fire the boys up. And we've now got Pritchard up there waiting to nod in a corner if the opportunity presents itself. But there's been very little. We're both really low on XG. There's been very little in the way of highlights. And we do have a free kick, though. It's Harrison Davies to take. Pritchard is there. Oh, it's offside. It almost made me look like a genius. We brought him on for exactly that, for his threat from set pieces. He's basically just a super sub secret weapon that we've got now for situations like this. And it almost worked. In fact, I think it's Cannon who's turned that in, and Pritchard's just the lump who was offside. So actually, I'm the opposite of a genius. What's the opposite of a genius? Right, Brewerton. Do you want to take the throw in? There's 20 seconds left. Throw the football. There we go. Don't know what took him so long there. We're trying to chase a goal here. We want to win. Pope on. Beautiful pass. Pritchard's in. Can he finish? He's hit the post. He's offside as well. Oh, he's had a couple of chances since coming on. He's certainly mixed things up a little bit and created a little bit of panic, presumably because of how enormous he is. You don't see a lot of this around the Football League. A man the size of him, and he is gonna cause panic. But he didn't lead to us grabbing a goal. It's 0-0. I think we're probably still top of the league. Obviously, Lincoln are a pretty decent side as well. I'm assuming they are in real life. Don't know if they are in game. They're Lincoln up there with us. Not really. We are still top of the league, but it is very tight at the top, as you can see. Level on points with Bolton and Salford. By the way, talking of Bolton, the whole transfer thing, if you're thinking the Nathan Curry transfer, it was 275,000. That's not bad for League Two. Can we just look at the transfers in League Two this season? Because Bolton sold a player for £8.25 million to Arsenal. He's a striker who'd scored 4 goals. He's 18. £8.25 million. That's the difference having a reputation makes. Bolton's reputation is 2-star. Our reputation, 1.5 star. We're now insecure financially. We've got regional reputation. So have Bolton. How have they got £8.25 million and we got 275,000? What is that? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.